to get my hair done.
And that's the
Hi,
first thing.
show.
That's
Ladies
the
and gentlemen,
first thing.
boys and girls, children of all ages, back in one place at one time. It is your friends that like to chat wrestling with you. So, welcome to Wrestling Chat with Friends. As always, I am Mega Rickman Blackwood, your favorite heel in heels. And we also are joined by Cheat Two Belts, Four
I'm
Belts.
I'm also on the controls.
Hey, he
Okay.
is a WWE editor, and he gonna be
NX,
doing them quick cuts. You
NX,
know I don't like the quick
NXT,
cuts.
NXT 2.0 quick cut
Cut.
cheats is who I am.
And we have a little bit of sad news due to work constrictions. As you guys know, like we've been all over the place. I'm working General Assembly session, which means I don't get out until 8, 9 o'clock at night. Cheats is doing all the cheats
I'm
things that
always
Cheats
here.
does.
I'm
He's
always here.
always here though.
I
He
am
does
never
hold us
not here.
down. What's weird is I say as always, and I'm not as always Mega Rickman Blackwood. I mean, I'm Mega Rickman Blackwood, but I'm not always here. So that is what it is. But unfortunately, Ty, Gimmick Incoming, that never came. We never got the gimmick. And due to his work schedule, Ty will no longer be joining us on Thursday nights. And I'm pretty bummed about it because I'm about to be out of session. So I was ready to be back full force in like 2 weeks. But Ty,
Yeah.
Mer.
Yeah, work calls, work calls. So the gimmick right now is CM Punk leaving WWE.
ooh, 2014. Does that mean that in like roughly 7 years, somebody's gonna come back and like punk
Uh, I,
you
s-
on
I
national
say
television?
I say let's say 3 months. Give it 3 or 4 months. We'll see how the
I'm with it.
schedule turns out.
I'm with it. And you know you're always welcome here. We started this thing, the three of us just talking shit on Instagram. So it won't be the same without you, but the show must go on. So while you're here, this is going to be a tie heavy episode. That means a lot of this stuff me and Cheats don't even know about because Ty
Not a
has always
lick.
been he's been our indie guy forever. So we have to start the way we always start because I mean, what is a show without tradition and programming? So before we get into Ty's heavy indie show, what are you guys popping for this week?
Go ahead, Cheese. You start out, man.
I mean, I don't want to bury the lead, but it has to be the biggest story in wrestling: Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor. I know we're going to get all
Yeah.
into it. We're going to have differences of opinions, I'm sure, but that's the biggest news in wrestling right now.
So that's what you're popping for? You're popping for Ring of Honor purchase by Tony Khan?
Absolutely,
I heard that your wife may have found him unbearably awkward on the television.
completely, completely. She turned it
Is
off at
that?
meet. She turned it off completely and said, "I don't even like the McMahons, but they're better than this guy." Is what she said.
Aw,
So
Tony Khan.
the memes and the impersonations over the internet over the last 24 hours have been amazing. But I do feel bad for Tony because he's getting ran through it right now.
I mean, he's probably on the spectrum, so let's be respectful of that. And I mean, he's just really excited. He's the fan that loves the program. One of the memes that I did see was like him at an ROH show like 10 years ago, just chilling in the audience. So the guy is genuine. He loves this, and he's loved it for a long time. So even though he's kind of weird, we're still supportive of him. All right. Do you want me to go next, Ty? Do you want to save your pop for last?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm popping for this week is the return of Darius to make Top Flight reunited and brought back together. I love them from the beginning. I think the two of them together are amazing. And I think that because we've had Dante Martin for like the last year almost without Darius, I think we forget that like Darius was the heavier hitter of the two. when they first premiered. So I'm really looking forward to him being back. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with it, what he does with the run. I'm very disappointed they did not take their spot last night in the Casino Battle Royale. But nonetheless, I am popping for the reunification of Top Flight.
Did anyone think that was a botch? Not the
No,
there
no.
there was a part of that match where who went out? I want to say maybe the best friends or even Dante himself. When they went out, everybody kind of looked around like, "Wait a second, what do we do now?" And it
I do.
definitely seemed as if something went awry.
I think it was probably always planned
Young
for
Bucks.
the Bucks to take it because let's face it, like. But I do think I noticed also when Trent went out, I
Yeah,
was
it was like
like,
a move
there
that
was
he
a
probably should
moment.
have. Yep, I'm
It
with
looked
you.
like he was supposed to hang on, and I think like we have to be aware that this is something that is a reality that's going to happen. We have, if you
Well,
look back to Royal Rumble, Kofi went
Yeah,
out
Kofi
when he
was
wasn't
supposed to
supposed
stay in
to.
Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
and he didn't. Yeah, he couldn't make the move.
All right, Ty, we saved the best for last. What are you popping for this week?
It actually goes into exactly what Elliot Jasmine has asked us in the chat.
What up, Elliot?
That Vince McMahon basically buried his own son right on a WWF podcast today, saying that
Yeah.
people that should be, maybe if you don't fit in, you shouldn't be here. Basically
Shame.
talking about Shane, and then calling Michael Cole the most horrible person ever, most horrible human being ever. I love it. I love it.
I,
He was joking.
yeah,
It's a,
it's so weird. The whole it's to me it's very weird. It because Shane has been in WD for how long?
his
Ever.
entire life, basically.
The
Yeah.
whole thing is very weird to me. Very weird.
I thought it was funny for me last night when Tony was making his announcement and he was like, Shane's not here. And I feel like just everybody is shitting on Shane McMahon. Can we just like find a way to just like love him a little bit? Like, can no one,
No,
is there no
no,
Not really.
promotion
no.
in
Not really.
America?
There's no reason to love him. But if indeed he was responsible for what plugging himself in the Royal Rumble
He
Yeah,
and
that
was.
whole thing was
like that was
wild.
just ridiculous.
Raw
It did
Underground.
sound
That was
like,
him.
but that was so weird for me because every story, like you'd always heard, like any story I'd ever heard about Shane backstage, it was like Shane loves the boys. He always is like advocating for people to go over. And then like that last run at the Rumble, like he sounded terrible. He was fighting for stuff he wanted. He was trying to put himself in WrestleMania. Like that's never been something that we've heard about Shane McMahon, unless I'm wrong. But I mean, as long as I've been following it, he's always seemed to be the good one out of that family of terrible people.
I mean,
I
he's
don't
still a
know.
McMahon.
He's still a McMahon. He's been
Fact.
raised that
He's
way.
he's a
Can
McMahon. He's rich.
can we really quickly touch on, or I don't know how quickly, the WWE Pat McAfee relationship in general
Yeah, it's kind of
is
weird.
it's not weird
Is
in the
it?
sense I don't think it's weird in the sense that Pat McAfee is a talent. He's a talented mic. He's a talented commentary person. I think it's weird that Pat McAfee has such a big show that basically the Pat McAfee show has a percentage of wrestling in it because McAfee's a wrestling guy, but it's not a wrestling show.
No.
It's very much in the sense of it's very much in the sense of Joe Rogan doing UFC, but he has his Joe Rogan
Mm.
show. So the
Mhm.
idea that Vince comes on the Pat McAfee show where he has this huge following, and I didn't see all of the interview, but I'm assuming the interview was they were saying the interview wasn't kayfabe. It was a Vince McMahon. I'm really Vince McMahon doing the interview.
It went back and forth. It went back and
Okay.
forth.
I'm just
But
like interested that Vince showed up anywhere. Like I mean, he doesn't
Right.
do
That's
a
my. I was saying
ton
it's
of
kind of
media.
weird. It's kind
no,
of
he
weird
doesn't
that
do.
Vince would go anywhere.
That was his first interview in 15 years.
Whoa.
That's crazy. So that's. I
And
mean,
he
that's huge. That's
He did
huge
from
for Pat
he
McAfee.
he did a favor, and that's why I think it wasn't a hard ball. Like he asked some hard questions. He asked about the releases. He asked
Mhm.
about you know how it felt when people didn't get over that he got rid of. Firing Shane, like he asked him some hard questions. He didn't go in and deep because that's in the end of the day that's still his boss. He still can get
What's your
Mhm.
fired.
Ty? What was your big? Because I didn't see it all. What was your biggest takeaway from the interview?
Uh, that Vince almost is always in is even when he's not in character, he's in character. He talked about he didn't sleep. He doesn't have weaknesses. He like he I mean he is somewhat always a character. I think for real, he's been doing the gimmick for so long
Right.
that
He's
he
living
thinks
the
that's what
gimmick.
he
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
That's who
he's
he
living
is.
it.
That's who he is.
Yeah. He's always struck me as a dude that's like he played it so close. Like, the best gimmicks are always ones that are like very close to who you are, right? And I feel like Vince like kept it so close that he's just become this character instead of a person.
Yeah,
He's living the gimmick,
Yeah.
happens to the best of
Yeah.
us.
And
he
it's.
treats
I
his
mean, and he
family like
should. He
employees.
should. It's his entire life, and like it's a weird dynamic, but I totally get it. I don't not get it. Right.
Mm.
Um. Doesn't mean that. Right. That doesn't mean he's a good person or anything like that. We know that. We know.
He's a garbage person
I mean, he's rich.
I'm
What rich person is not a garbage person?
I'm just
He's a
and that's a
business
solid
person.
question.
the living the gimmick thing. I do think is like a merge, right? It's just like a merge of his reality versus like what reality
But
is.
at what point does that become like problematic? I mean,
It
well,
already has.
it's problematic,
Well,
right?
I don't
Like
know,
it's already
30,
problematic.
30, 40 years ago, 50 years
But
ago.
Yeah,
here's my
the
question:
entire
at what
Attitude
point does
Era.
that become like brain breaking for Vince, right? Because he's this like big tough guy that's so tough and like he can do all the things. But I mean, the he's in his 80s now. How old is he?
I
He's
think
probably in
he's
his
late
80s,
70s. I think
late
it
70s,
might be.
80s.
We
Yeah,
can look it up. I will be the
Like
stat guy and look this
he's
up.
very fit for his age, and I do know that Jeff Bezos is trying to figure out how we're not us, but how they're going to live forever. But
Oh,
like at
yeah.
some point he's gonna start breaking down, and like
hey,
is he going
76.
to is he going to be able to handle
76.
that?
76 is younger than
He
I thought
is.
for Vince.
Yeah, he's gonna live forever. What did he say in the interview? His mom didn't die until she was like 110. So
Yeah,
she's
she just
he's
passed, right?
yeah. So he ain't worried
That's
about it.
crazy.
All
That's
right.
crazy.
Oh,
That's enough. I mean, Ty, it's your show, so we can do whatever you want. But that is about all the WWE I want to handle. So tell me some indie stuff. What are you excited about? I know
No,
you are not thrilled about the
yeah, like
ROH
I say, we
purchase.
can't
yeah,
bury the lead here. We can't
yeah.
bury the lead. The lead
All
has
right.
got to be ROH purchase. And
Give us your
Ty,
hot take.
and if Elliot's still watching or anybody in the chat, let us know what you think about Tony Khan buying ROH.
I really don't see what the big deal is. He bought a tape library. And that's basically what he did. There are no wrestlers on ROH. They're all been gone.
Hmm.
Everyone's independent. So he bought the name and the library of ROH. Whoop de doo. It has no it doesn't have a network. TBS and TNT are not going to put another wrestling show on their books. It's going to go on YouTube, so it's a glorified AEW Dark Elevation. How many people watch that? What happens to Jonathan Gresham? What happens to all of the what happens to all of the like the Kingdom, OGK, the original Kingdom with they just won the belts. Are those now defunct? Like what? They're still not under contract. I don't see the real big deal of doing all this, and it just really makes the wrestling world smaller as well. I don't like the consolidation. You're going right back to it being WCW and WWE and WWF WWE all over again.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like he bought the library, but he bought the library, right? Like, how many amazing matches throughout the history of ROH are there, right? Like, I know that's where
A lot.
when I first got introduced to Punk, like that's where like I went back and watched his stuff. When I first got introduced to Danielson, I went back and watched his stuff there. Like, there's so many people that have come up through it. And I do think that there is the rumor mill, at least, has been around that Tony Khan is trying to land a deal with HBO Max for a streaming service, right? And like, remember how big of a deal it was when WWE dropped the network and like you could stream matches from 20 years ago, and like people really got into that, and there was whole like playlist dedicated to, like, I know I went through and watched all the Shield matches, and like from their very first match where they ran in for Punk, like all the way to the dissolution of the group. Like, I watched all of them because it was available in a playlist. So I think, like, as of right now, AEW does not have enough content to fill out something like that. And with this purchase, like, he saved the library, because where was it going to go? Who was going to carry that? And like, ROH didn't have the money to keep something like that going, or having the servers to handle it, or the customer service to handle it.
From
I
what I
think.
understand, it was two. It was like two or three people that were interested in the library. WWE being one of them. They kind of turned down. I guess they were asking too much money, or they just turned it. They just didn't want it. And two Japanese companies, I believe.
But isn't
It
that
could have
just more
been.
consolidation, just other ways that maybe you're more comfortable with because you live in Stanford?
Nah, I don't. I don't want. I didn't want WWE to buy it either. I didn't want anyone
Mm.
to buy it. I wanted them to come back. I wanted them to find a new partnership, come back as ROH, maybe with a new TV deal somewhere else, and having more wrestling.
I
Now,
mean,
I
I
mean,
think
it,
it
it's
leaves the
it's kind of.
opportunity to have it,
Does
because
it
they were
though?
still working with Sinclair up until like the end of their run.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
so
who he
I
Yeah.
don't know
bought. That's who he bought it from.
if that, like, so is that, does that make it now because I mean they were on, like, I mean Sinclair is like the mogul, local
Syndicated. It's
cable
like the
channels,
it's like the
right? Yeah.
syndicated
So
network.
Yeah.
like, I mean, they were on, like, channel 32 at midnight on on like local TV, but like, I mean, is that not still an option? Like, is ROH not going to run anymore? Did he just buy it
So
for the
I mean,
Where are you
library?
I
gonna
think
put it?
no. I mean, here is what the immediate chatter was from people that sort of from like media people that seem to know more than we do in general about just
Mm.
like inside baseball, was that no one knows, no one, like the bigger kind of outlets instantly was like, what does this mean? Well, it means exactly what Ty said. They have a library
Mm.
immediately. What do they do with the brand moving forward? There's been talks from everything from making it developmental, basically making a ROH NXT type thing, but be a little bit more friendly to indies and put them in ROH before they go to AEW. There's been conversations of using the Sinclair syndication and trying to build the brand back. No one knows what Tony Khan exactly wants to do, and this is the interesting part of this. I don't think Tony Khan knows exactly what he wants to do. Tony
Okay.
Khan is basically who he is, and we just described this in the intro of him announcing that he bought ROH. He's basically a wrestler, like he's basically like just like a giant fan, like a giant mark
Mm.
that has more money than anybody else that we know about, right? And
Hmm.
so he's like, ooh, Ring of Honor's up for bid. Like, I can go buy it. He's like the guy that buys the Wu Tang CD and doesn't know what to do with it, right? Um,
Not
what?
pharma, bro. Like, I
No,
think
I
he's
mean,
like
no,
he
it,
no.
seems to
it,
be a
But
good dude.
it
but
sort of is. It sort of
but
is, though.
but my
Is it
point.
though? Because Pharma Bro bought it and was like, I'm never going to show it to anybody.
But
Tony Khan is like, I bought this thing and I'm going to give you
no, he's
amazing product for free.
everybody's better than Farmer Bro.
Thank
Everybody.
you.
But my point is, I think he's just like, buy now, figure out what to do later.
And that's
And
okay.
that's where I think he is, and I think that's what he did. Now, the interesting thing, though, is the numbers that people are reporting, and I don't know if any of this is true, is in between 30 and 40 million
Yeah, chump
to
change.
to figure out just to get it done, just to get the deal done.
Yeah.
You don't buy 30. I don't think you spend 30 to 40 million chump change or not to have an idea of trying to revive the brand somehow. So
I think so too.
I do think that there will be new. I think there will be new ROH matches. I think some folks from the original ROH will come back. I think, but I just don't know, exactly what it looks like at the end.
This is why I feel as well. This is why I feel as well. No worse barred.
Ooh.
Mo, you feeling the
What
same
up?
way because
What
it's
up,
almost
no
like a double
worse
standard.
bard?
It's almost like a double standard here because back when WWE did it, it was everybody, oh no, there's no. It's like they were buying up all the talent. No. AEW's doing the same thing. And it was like, yay!
No, okay. Let me
Difference,
tell you
though.
what I think.
Okay, go ahead.
I
Go
do
ahead,
think
Steve.
that there's a fundamental difference between the death
Point
of
it out.
WCW and the purchase by WWE to this.
Point it out.
Mhm.
Well, here's the thing. I think. Well, actually, Megan, go because
I'm
here's
gonna go first.
my
then, 'cause you
argument.
gather your thoughts.
Yeah, my
I'm coming back
argument
to you.
actually might because ROH is dead.
Here's the
WCW was
difference.
dead.
No, WCW was not dead.
It was dead.
WCW
It was dead.
not
It was
dead.
dead.
It was dead.
It was
not
dead.
dead. It was not
dead.
done.
It was dead.
Still a product. It still had people. Like ROH was officially over. There was no more ROH. They announced it at the beginning of the year. They let all their people go. They let the contracts go. Like there wasn't an ROH. So you guys are like, oh, he came and bought up a territory. No, he didn't. Like it wasn't a show anymore. So if anything, he is saving ROH from like relegation to nothing. What you're gonna hope some other like autistic millionaire is like, man, I want to own a wrestling program and like buys ROH.
Ted Turner does it all the time. Ted Turner does it all the time, but no.
Look,
We're already on
we need
Turner.
we need authorities on this because my recollection was WCW was dead.
It was very much dead.
Somebody come in on it. No, because I mean, I remember I was a child at the time, but I remember it being like a big
I was like
deal
25.
that like they ruined.
It was bad. It was bad because you had
WCW
NWO
was
2000.
Yeah,
it was
WCW
bad,
was
but it
bad.
was still on TV. It still had appeal. It was still going.
It didn't have appeal. It had a television contract though. That was one thing that people pointed out. WCW at the time that it was purchased was on network TV every week. It was a horrible product.
Everybody but it was still on TV.
It was still on TV because Turner paid for it.
But the thing is, ROH was still on TV because ROH is owned by a TV company. They were planning to come back. They had several.
Right?
They had several.
Thank you, Elliot. It was bad, not dead. ROH has not made
Elliot,
any
it was dead.
content since what? December. When's the
yes,
last time there was an ROH show?
ROH was having a show this month.
I don't understand
that.
I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, they have 3 planned shows.
How do they're dead? How do they even have shows? I don't understand what's happening. There's like a bunch of ROH guys be like, let's just do a show. I don't know what's happening.
Because they were coming. The original plan, what the head said was that they were planning to restructure everything.
Right, I remember this.
And they were supposed to come back, and they were going to be hiring people as independent contractors, like they used to be when ROH first came along. So what they said was it was always a plan on them coming back in a new way. So it wasn't dead.
Them coming back in a new way.
This is them coming back in a new way, for sure.
It really isn't though.
How?
It really isn't.
How?
You really think that
they have funding now? They have a backer. Like
okay, for
AEW has interest. You don't think they can get a TV deal?
Where?
Does Turner own any other networks? We got TBS, we got TNT.
They're not going to put anything on there like that, especially an unproven product like that. Nah.
Let me ask you a question a different way. And Ty, I know this will speak at your heart. Is there a way that Ring of Honor can legitimately compete with like Impact?
No, no, unless because Tony Khan is not going to have it a legitimate kind of uh, competition with his product already. So it's going to be lower than AEW.
Okay.
AEW, and Megan, you're not going to like this. AEW is basically NXT because they pull NXT numbers and they go head to head with NXT. It's not WWE numbers. So you're going to be what, fourth, fifth rung? No,
Hold on.
ROH.
Wouldn't
But I thought
Jericho
you wanted more wrestling.
wouldn't
I
Jericho
thought you
I
wanted
argue
more
do.
in
wrestling
the demo
program.
AEW?
Huh?
So like everybody can't be WWE. So if you want
No, you
No
shouldn't
more
one
try to.
is. No one
programs,
is.
No
if
one's
you
going to.
want
Period.
more wrestling, like I don't understand how this is a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's another
Because
opportunity for a program to come out. Like
this is the
you
only
either
reason I
want more
see it as
wrestling or you don't.
no. This is the reason why I'm seeing as a bad thing. It's because you already have an overabundance of talent over at AEW. They're buying up all of the indie stars, all of the free agents are all AEW. AEW is getting praised for it. WWE does the exact same thing. They get shit for it. Both. I mean, I and you can look up my tweets. I gave WWE shit for it as well. I'm going to give AEW shit for it too. I'm not going to have a double standard, like just because I may like the
No.
wrestling on one show other than the other one.
Can I
I'm
tell
going
you
to give the exact. I'm going to levy the exact same praise and negativity towards
the
both of
hate
these things.
equal opportunity hater?
It's going to be equal opportunity hate on
Let
it.
me tell you though. Let me tell you what's going to happen, and it's already starting to happen. The tide is going to turn on AEW. And I'm going to tell you why. The tide will turn if they misuse the talent that they're buying, especially the fan-friendly talent that they're buying from WWE. So, for example,
I agree.
we've already talked about like what the hell's going on with Jay Lethal, right? If
Or
they
Miro.
or Miro, I think he's hurt though. But if
Tony
they,
No, he's
Nese.
back. He's been back for like I
but
didn't like last month I saw something where he said he
but
was back. He was just waiting
but
on creative.
Andrade, like if they
Ruby
mess
Soho.
up, if they mess up if they mess up Keith Lee, and if they get Cesaro and they mess up Cesaro, like here's the thing, there's only but so much runway that
Mm-hmm.
people can have with
Mhm.
this strategy, and if they get, heaven forbid, they get Wyndham, and Wyndham, you
I would
know,
love that.
but no, you would love it if it works out well. The problem is there's not enough television hours now for the AEW talent that they have,
Nope.
and you're starting to see stories of not just unhappy wrestlers, but like what are they doing with these people? And
They're sitting in catering.
if that happens, that's going to be an issue.
I mean, that's why I like the ROH acquisition because I think it opens up a lane for another product. I mean, you're right, Ty. Like, I don't know where it lands. I don't know what network it goes on, and I don't know like where the yes, okay, Ruby Soho, solid point. Nonetheless, like that's why I like the ROH acquisition because. But here's the thing: like y'all are laughing and shit, but where else are they gonna go? They're gonna go. They're all gonna go to
Yeah,
Impact. They're all gonna go
Impact, New
to
Japan,
like
Dragon
EC
Gate,
Dub. Like
Shimmer,
yeah.
they couldn't go
Shimmer,
to
I,
Japan. They
I,
couldn't go. They
NWA.
literally couldn't go to Japan until like 4 or 5 months ago.
I don't
Like,
know what
where
the
else are people gonna go?
I don't know what
There's
the
New Japan USA. So
right. I
there's
don't know
there's
what
there's,
that.
there's the alternates.
But none of those checks are AEW checks, right?
Right?
That's the issue. That's
I mean,
no
for
indie,
real,
no
for real.
NWA, no GCW, no check is a AEW WWE check, right?
I mean, for real, if you're not CM Punk or if, like four other people, AEW checks ain't AEW checks. I mean, they're
Right,
about the
because
same
I
thing as
mean,
the other indies.
right there. I mean, we're dealing with, like, just to be honest, AEW is mostly glorified independent contractors, right?
Yeah,
That's why you see, even to, which I'm really excited about, but even to Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy wrestling in Prince William County, what, next month or the
hmm
month after? So it's like you're starting to like. You're right. If it's not CM Punk, if it's not Bryan Danielson, if it's not Jericho or Kenny Omega, you're seeing everybody else show up all throughout the indies and get checks, right? Like
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
But
that's
here,
just what they do.
okay, I'm gonna jump in with this difference, and then I gotta go because I haven't eaten yet, and I feel like I'm hangry, and I feel like I'm being extra mean to Ty, and I don't want to do that on his
It's
last
his
show.
You don't have
last
to be
show.
mean to
You
me.
got no.
I
This is
haven't
what
mean to
Ty
me.
loves. If
I
we Ty
haven't
fuels
eaten
Yeah.
off
since
this.
breakfast. Like, but here's what I will say. Okay, so we had WWE buy up everybody, and then they sat in catering, right? The difference, I think, with AEW that we can appreciate is that they buy up all the talent and then they don't have to sit in catering. They are not independent contractors that have exclusivity contracts. They can go do indie shows. If they're bored, they can go jump on a podcast. Elliot, you funny. But well, at least you're gonna take me down so I can go grab some food. But again, like there are other avenues for them to still be out there and to still do things. WWE bought up everybody and then cut everybody else's independent income stream. So, like, if we're talking about which company is shittier, which Ty, you and I are always talking about, I think that we have to look at the fact that they're at least letting people like go make money somewhere else if they're not being used at AEW and they're still getting an AEW check even if it's not, the CM Punk check that they want.
I see that, and I actually appreciate that until you factor
Here
until you
we
factor it
go.
in. No, until you factor in why are only certain
Ooh.
stars have these exclusive contracts where they can only go to certain places? Because AEW is the lower tier ones can go anywhere they want, right? Because they don't AEW doesn't pay them a lot, so they got to
Right.
supplement their stuff
Right. No,
somewhere
absolutely.
else.
They know that.
So
They know
it's
that.
like yeah, and they know that. So I'm not. I mean, if you're going to go to AEW, you already know that, and you get that kind of freedom. I appreciate that, but it's
Who
also a
is
double-edged sword.
constricted like that? Besides maybe the Bucks, like
Chris
John
Jericho, the Young
Moxley
Bucks,
wrestles wherever the hell he wants to. Chris Jericho goes on podcasts and band tours, and like you couldn't have a
It's
Twitch channel on WWE.
yeah,
Tell
do
me
but
you
I'm
really think
wrong.
that WWE? Wait. You really think that WWE can stop Chris Jericho from doing tours with Fozzy or still having his podcast? Because they didn't, and they
They
couldn't.
they stopped. They tried to stop
they stopped
everybody
the
else.
cameo.
They
They stopped the
shut down
cameo money.
everybody.
They
Cameo,
stopped
Hey,
cameo
Twitch,
money,
anything people were doing
they
to
stopped
make
the
money.
Twitch.
but we're talking
Uh,
about Chris Jericho.
no. But
It
here's
ain't
the
happening.
deal. Here's the deal, and this is what AEW recognizes. AEW recognizes that it's basically everyone else versus WWE,
Yeah,
right? So we will be the big number two on the block, but what we need to do is make sure that it's basically WWE not just versus AEW, but a versus all of wrestling in the United States. So basically, what they've done, and I actually give them credit for this, they've actually made the indies better than they've ever had before because
Impact did it better.
now but Impact didn't
Impact did it
have
first.
right, but Impact doesn't have the built-in advantages. They don't
Nah, yeah, I
have
see what you're getting. I see
the
what you're saying.
privilege that AEW. I was gonna say white privilege, but
You
the-
wouldn't be wrong.
they don't have the privilege that Impact had, right? So when I say that is Tony Khan's got the obviously the deep pockets, but also has the foundation to put them on television, right? In a place where they're basically taking the old WCW slots, right? And by doing so, and giving their wrestlers a lot of anonymity, if you will, to do a bunch of indie shows, they're making those indie shows better. When Santana
Absolutely.
Ortiz shows up at Terminus, when
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Garcia is winning, and people are showing up at places like Defy, and GCW has got Moxley as their champion. He's wearing a GCW sweatshirt going into an AEW match. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
the Indies are in the best place they've ever been, probably because a lot of the people they can market are on television on AEW. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're headliner. Like nobody gives it. Like two people we talk about all the time in AEW world, Thunder Rosa and Lee Moriarty, right? They're actually both super indie darlings. Like Thunder Rosa is
Yep.
now they're over. Thunder Rosa is over
Mm-hmm.
in AEW, but Lee Moriarty, that's like you got to be a kind of a wrestling fan and an indie wrestling fan to be like, oh, Lee's got talent. You know what I mean?
Hi. Hey. All
But I
right.
mean, that's what they've done. All right, Megan, we're gonna take you down. Get a granola bar. All right, Ty. There's a couple things that I want to hit. We've got about a good 15 minutes to chat,
Let's go.
and there's so many things on your list. But I want to talk about one that I actually am casually, tertiarily, I guess, familiar with, and I know you're gonna have a lot on this.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the current run of Matt Cardona.
Oh, Matt Cardona. Oh, you mean Mr. Zack Ryder? You mean Mr. Belt Collector, Mr. Internet Champion, NWA Champion,
I think
MLW
he's
Champion?
I think he's got like 6 of them.
He has like 6 or 7 belts right now. Matt Cardona is like the it guy in the Indies right now.
How did
He
this happen?
is Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder. He's always been an indie. He's always been an internet darling. I mean, he basically created the avenue for wrestlers to be popular on the internet. These cameos, these Twitch channels, all this other kind of stuff. He did it first with Z True Hollywood, True Long Island Stories.
Mm.
I love that. Him being the internet champ. He got over on his own. And he carried that momentum. He kept on doing what he was doing, carried that momentum. WWE got rid of him. And he's
Right.
like, all right, I'm gonna Christian this. I'm gonna go ahead and Christian this shit. Sorry. And I'm going to outwork everybody. And he just started booking everything. And I mean, he's turned himself into the number one heel of the indies.
That was the
Everyone
thing.
hates him.
I
And I
think his
love it.
heel turn was like apparently his heel turn's legendary. Like he
Yes.
was obviously a talented person, great personality, but something about him turning heel over the last I mean, I don't know if he's always been heel, but whatever he's done over the last, 12, 24 months and his heel work is they was like has just been unreal. So I mean, believe it or not, I knew of Zack Ryder, the wrestler. I also knew that what is it? He was mentioned by CM Punk in the famous pipe bomb speech. Like, how
Yep.
come you're not giving this guy a chance? But what he's done over the last year and a half seems to be like the best he's ever been, and he's like he's over to a place in the Indies where he's never been before.
Yes. Because oh, Ellie, this show's always good looking. Come on, it's me on here. I got a flower shirt on. But I mean, um, he basically took, and I gotta say this, he took the Christian route of it. Christian was one of the first people to go out there and say, "Oh, you don't think I'm main event, caliber? All right, I'm gonna go to NWA. I'm gonna win their championship. All right, cool. I'm gonna go to TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever it was. I'm gonna win all their stuff too. I'm gonna go to Japan. I'm gonna have a couple matches over there, and then I'm gonna come back. I don't think Zach is gonna ever. I don't think Matt's ever gonna come back to WWE. But I'm gonna come back over to WWE and win their championships too. Like everyone talks about Edge being the most decorated champion of all time. I guess in WWE, if you count everything outside of WWE, it's Christian. And right now,
Mm.
and Matt Cardona's going in that same exact route. He's going to be one of the most decorated champions in all of wrestling,
But where
and
does
I
he
love
go?
it.
Where does he go from here? Like, does he land in AEW? Because he was in AEW, right? He did some AEW matches, right?
He did like I think one, if that. He
Right.
did like one. For real, I think that he's gonna win. They're gonna put the TNA championship on him. I mean the Impact championship on him.
Do you think so?
I think so. I think Matt Cardona's gonna win the. I think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna take the
Oh,
belt off of Moose.
We got it. We got Megan Good. We got Megan Good.
um, I think that he's gonna win that title, add that on there, and man, I mean, if he wants to go to New Japan, he's not gonna win any belts over there. But if he might win a never open weight, maybe. But yeah, he's just gonna keep on collecting, and
So
everybody who beats him is gonna be a megastar after that,
do you
mega
think
indie
do you
star.
that'll be interesting. That'll be, and I love it, and I love the run. And is his wife Chelsea Green?
Yes.
They seem to be a really really good heel team. They're both heels, right?
Hot mess. Here you go.
Hot Mess Express. All right, you've always wanted to talk about this. We don't talk about this enough on our show. Talk to me about Impact Wrestling. You think it's the hottest you think
Yo.
it's the best promotion going right now, right? Is this wrong? Correct
Yes.
me if I'm wrong. You think Impact's doing the best work of any of the promotions right now?
Yes. Yes.
What
Yes.
are they doing that makes you sold?
So here's what I like about Impact is that when they have these cross promotional events, right now they're doing one with New Japan Wrestling. They've been doing it. The way that they're doing it now, it makes both companies look good. Say what you want with AEW, it made one side look good. I mean, it really did. You didn't really have any Impact stars going over to AEW to get their shine. I don't know what was going on with that, except for maybe the Good Brothers. That's about it. And they really didn't do anything.
I don't think anyone really got over on that
No,
deal. Like nobody from Impact was like, "Oh, I got to go see Impact now."
exactly. But with this, you have major storylines going on right now. You have the dissolution, the kicking out of Bullet Club OG and Tamatanga has been kicked out of Bullet Club on Impact, not in New Japan, on Impact. That's big. The Good Brothers coming back to Bullet Club. That is huge. You have Doc Gallows. Was it good?
Yes, and I'm still
What?
chewing, and I'm about to go back down. But I do want to remind you,
Why were you making so many
you
signs and you
because
weren't
I
ready?
want to remind you that remember when Kenny was championship and Don Callis came in,
Hmm.
and Kenny left with the belt and went to Impact. You can't tell me they didn't try. It's not their fault that people didn't stick with Impact. Maybe that's Impact's fault. But Kenny was there multiple times.
Megan,
Okay.
Multiple times.
Who was
Megan
over there from Impact
unmuted.
over on AEW?
I mean, the Good Brothers, but they suck. That's
They didn't win
Impact's problem,
anything.
not ours.
Who books AEW shows?
We're taking Megan down.
So I
Megan,
mean,
Megan, look, Megan came out of the dark just
to
to mark for
defend
AEW in this
AEW, yeah,
collaboration.
exactly.
The best thing is nobody else can see her, but we can still see her. So she's just like, "Yo, I got this."
I just really want to know. I
Live
just
from
really want to
Daly's
know.
place. If
Did
you're
she?
time from
Yeah, live
Stanford,
exactly.
live from Daly's place, Megan.
I mean, I'm just saying. Did you when Kenny was on there? How many times did you check out Impact?
I didn't. I didn't. I didn't watch Impact at all. So I don't think. But here's the thing: no matter what they did with Mickey James, I didn't watch Impact. I didn't go over to Impact because Mickey James bought the knockout title over. So it's like I don't understand how. I want to get back to the Bullet Club stuff because I think that's really important.
Hmm.
But right now, it doesn't seem as if these partnerships between WWE and AEW have lifted Impact in my mind. It could have in others.
It made a big deal for a little bit, and their viewership did go up a little bit, but it they have really good matches. Eddie Edwards, Sammy Callahan, they got me they got me caring about Morrissey.
Right.
They got me actually caring about what happens to this man, and I hated him and Enzo back in the day.
Right.
So I mean, great matches, uh, great personalities, great character work. They're doing some great storylines with the Honor No More, the ROH people that are sitting there that I have no idea what's going to happen to them
I
now.
did like that promotion that promo got me really excited when they were like coming in.
I'm telling you, watch it right now. Actually, tonight, right now, I do believe it's going to be it is going to be Bullet Club. That is Jay White, Switchblade Jay White, the Good Brothers, and Chris Bay is Bay.
Can we
Bullet,
talk about Chris Bay?
yeah,
What
the ultimate finesser. Yes,
what do we think of, because apparently, and I did not know this,
Hmm.
but Chris Bay is the first African American to join Bullet Club,
Yep. First black person ever to
and
join Bullet Club.
and at the time, how do I say it for kind of racist wrestling fans? Mixed signals. Like nobody denies Bay's talent, but it was like it was a big deal that Chris Bay joined Bullet Club, and I guess he came out with his finesser merch, and it was
Yep.
like a whole thing. Uh, what do for people that aren't familiar with Chris Bay? What should we know about Chris Bay? Is this guy a star with a rocket on his back? Where is he going to end up? What like is this where he's going to be, or like tell us about Chris Bay?
To me, Chris Bay is what Swerve wants to be.
That is really harsh criticism.
I'm just saying, he
Cause
is what Swerve wants to be.
Swerve is my man.
Swerve
I
is your
think
man.
I love Swerve. I
I,
love Swerve. I think Swerve is the the free agent people should go get. If there's all the free agents that are out there, I think Swerve is the free agent that people should
I
get.
believe. I think that either AEW signed him or what I'm
I
hearing
think
is
he's
New
already.
Japan signed him.
I think AEW. It may be both because I heard
Maybe
AEW did
both.
sign him. I
Yeah,
did
maybe
hear
both.
AEW sign
But it's Chris Bay. Chris Bay has a I think a better character than Swerve does, and he's just I just love his wrestling. Like I just love his wrestling. I love his wrestling psychology. He doesn't do spots, just do spots like it is in some other promotions of the indies.
him.
Uh, and him being the first black person in Bullet Club is a very big deal.
Yeah, I heard it
It's
was a big deal, huge
it was like
deal,
a
and I heard it was
really huge
like
deal.
there's moments in life when like we don't love we as both of us being black men we don't love it, but there's
Hmm.
moments in life when it's like, oh, we're gonna show our racism now. And when Chris Bay joined Bullet Club, it was a really big deal, but a lot of folks kind of showed the ugly side of that underbelly is what I was privy to in race relations and wrestling.
They have. But and here's the other thing I do like about Impact. Who are their two world champions
Hold
of
on,
recent
Megan,
of the?
give us a nod if
Here
you're
we go.
back, Megan. Megan's back.
All right.
Well, I just want to,
So
I mean, racism, enter the white lady. I want you to
This is the woke
finish
part of the
talking
program.
about, I want you to finish talking about what you're talking about, but I also, before you leave us, I have to get your take on control your narrative wrestling. That is
oh,
apparently like the MAGA wrestling um promotion that's coming out.
Is the Briscoes in it? Is
I
it
mean
owned by
the
the
Briscoes
Briscoes?
everywhere. No, it's owned by EC3 and Braun Strowman, Titan, whatever his
Oh,
name is
jeez,
nowadays.
that's wild.
Uh,
Is his name White Power? Is it White Knight?
so I can't say anything about control your narrative because I've only seen one thing on it, and that was a Reddit thread, and Reddit is not the
Sure.
no one should be getting their news from Reddit if it's because it's an echo chamber. But I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen. I know they had two shows, and so I need to see the promo work on it and everything else like that. EC3 as I've never saw him as a. I mean, I don't know his personal life, but I've never seen anything he's did as a MAGA type of thing. Braun Strowman, on the other hand, maybe, but
Yeah,
EC3.
Brom's got some of that in him.
But
That
I don't know.
that,
It's just like
that
the
pro
so
pro.
I haven't seen the show at all because I'm not going to. But I have seen like their promotional material and it like just smacks of like QAnon and it's like control your destiny. Don't
I
listen
mean,
to, mainstream, the man trying to like it just and then like I saw something else they put out that was like it was basically like we'll never like cater to they didn't say the libs but it was like another synonym for the libs and it was saying like everyone's welcome but we won't what was it was like we won't take over an entire month just to cater to people and so I immediately was like well that's February and Pride month so
yeah, I don't. I mean, if that was, I haven't seen the show, so I can't say if they have or if they haven't. I would need to watch one of their shows and see if it's really like that. I can't. I can't go to like Twitter rumors and stuff like that or anything else. I need to
Mhm.
see it from firsthand. If they do say that, then no, I'm not watching it again. Or and I hope it fails. But if
You're
they're
gonna do
not
some
like that, and if,
recon for us while you're gone.
yeah, and if it's like if they're just doing, I mean, it's wrestling. Wrestling takes things that are uncomfortable and then they try to make it into entertainment. If they're being
Mhm.
heels and they're going to get their ultimate comeuppance, then that was the whole point of them doing that. It I wouldn't do it. I mean, I don't think and as much stupid and dumb and blatantly racist stuff that WWE has done in the past, I don't even think WWE would do it because they saw what happened with the what was it?
Gunther.
The Lost Sons, the Forgotten
Yeah, yeah,
Sons,
the
the Forgotten
motorcycle
Sons.
gang.
They
I mean,
got
hey, look, time. I think times have changed on some of that, and I don't think. I think who knows, but you would think that some of the old promotions of all the wrestling promotions back in the day will be less offensive. However, this choose your narrative whatever type thing, it's it's basically Fox News of wrestling, and I think there's a market for that. So the idea is you cater you cater to where you think your revenue and your dollars are going to go, and there I think there probably would be a financial place for it. The question is, how far do they go? What do they do with their roster? What do you do with inclusion? How do you deal with your storylines? And yeah, if that's the angle you're choosing, like, just to be frank, I don't watch Fox News. I don't have to. Like, I don't think I would subscribe to a wrestling promotion that is built on that value system. However, doesn't mean a whole lot of people won't. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm thinking it'll be interesting to see what wrestlers choose to work with that promotion based off of what we're saying. Um, but
I'll do
again,
it like I
let's
do Kanye and give y'all some. I'll do it like I do with Kanye. I bought a bootleg so they won't get any numbers, and then I'll tell you how it is.
Yeah, I
Please
mean,
do.
and don't get it twisted. While we can actually blame the promotions for a lot of stuff that we don't think is good in wrestling, like the crowds, like we know about the AEW crowds,
Oh my
that
God,
the
from
Long
time to
Island
time.
crowd, and some of the signs that
If
they've.
they take our white trash crowd away from AEW, God bless them. They can have
So,
them.
right, but I'm just saying it's
And they're
like
gonna have
this
many
is
people in there.
yeah, it's
That's
just it's a
they are a
challenge.
lot. There are a
Okay,
lot of these.
finish your really quickly. Finish your thought on Chris Bay because I think that's important for people to know, um, in regards to why we should care about Chris Bay.
The only thing I can say to you guys that will sell you on Chris Bay is to watch Chris Bay work.
Mm-hmm.
Watch
Mhm.
how fluid he is, and how fluid he is in the ring. Watch his entire demeanor and his entire character. He knows that he is his character, and he was that character before there was a swerve, before he
Mhm.
got signed.
Mm-hmm.
So just watch him. If you don't like him, you don't like him. If you do, you're going to be a TNA fan. I mean, I keep saying TNA because I used to watch TNA way back in the day.
Impact.
Impact fan. And the other thing about Impact is that in the last year and a half, they've had 3, 4 black world champions.
Mhm.
Moose, Rich Swan. I would not have done it for Rich Swan because, yeah, we already know what he did. um, and I mean, you they're giving minorities a chance to really be in the front of a camera in the what's the word I'm looking for, the forefront, there we go, of what they're trying to do. Moose has been a dominant champion. I still can't stand when that man talks because he sounds like
Talks or wrestles. I heard he's like
he's a great wrestler.
I've heard the contrary.
You gotta watch a Moose match.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
But
I did watch one on Terminus. Moose wrestled on Terminus.
yeah, he can't talk. I
That'll
mean,
that'll be our assignment while you're gone. Like Cheats and I will both like take 1 week a month that we're responsible for watching Impact and
Man, we'll just watch
keeping everyone.
Ty. We'll just watch the matches you tell us to because you're still gonna give us matches every week.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
my
Absolutely.
watch.
also New Japan is on Access TV as well. New Japan Pro Wrestling is on Access TV now. So if you watch
So
Impact, you can watch New Japan Pro.
so tell us about
Beautiful.
J Cup.
Ooh, the J Cup. The J Cup is the two-time favorite times of the year. So you have the J Cup is basically, or the New Japan the New Japan Cup, are their second of their big two tournaments. You have that and the G1 Classic. The object of this is if you win, it's a round robin tournament. If you win the tournament, then you get a championship you're choosing at one of their pay-per-views. With the
Mm-hmm.
G1, you get a championship match at Wrestle Kingdom, their
Right.
WrestleMania.
There's the big
That's
big
their
three
big
day
one.
thing. Yep.
Right now, you had the first rounds. I think were yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Kazuchika Okada is in there, so I mean, I don't know what championship he's going to go for. Ghetto Sema from Noah, and man, a lot of people and a lot of talks being made about the buys that they have in. Like people are getting random buys that Ghetto is uh, picking favorites. They're probably making to a storyline between Tama and
Wait,
Tongaloa.
were you calling something ghetto or is
No,
someone's
Gato.
Someone's
name
Gedo.
ghetto?
Yeah,
Ghetto.
yeah, yeah.
Ghetto. He is a wrestler slash manager. He's managed Okada. He's managed. Yeah,
Is that a Japanese word that
it's
just
a Japanese
sounds
name.
like ghetto?
No, it's just a Japanese name. His name is actually Ghetto
Like with a H and two
with a
T's?
Gedo.
Oh,
Ghetto.
okay. Ghetto.
Ghetto
Megan
I
was
thought
and
you were
Jado.
Megan
saying
was about
ghetto.
Megan was about to end the whole New Japan situation right there. The J Cup was gonna be over.
Yes, Ghetto is his actual name, but it
There we
is
go.
and he
Elliot, thank you for spelling it out for me.
Hilarious.
and he is also the. I mean, he's won like Wrestling
That's
Observer's
hilarious.
Booker of the Year like 4 or 5 times in a row. Like he books all the New Japan stuff, mostly the stuff that deals with Okada, Jay White, the Bullet Club, everything else like that. If you ask some people, Bullet Club was actually his and Fergal Devitt's or Finn Balor's idea. So
Fergal.
Fergal Devitt was the man. I miss Prince. I miss
Yeah.
Prince.
He's
Speaking
such
of
a
which,
badass when he came
the
over.
new U.S. champion, the new United States
Yeah,
champion, Finn Balor.
yeah, but he still have him smiling and doing the "Yay, I'm here" crap.
He's
No, it's supposed to be the demon roar. Like it's the
Yeah,
conductor, not a happy, excited to be here.
but a very interesting career, and I'm interested
Nonetheless.
if he goes back if whenever his contract's up. I wonder how long they have him locked on. Because does he go back to Japan?
no,
I'll be interested to see what happens to him.
he's gonna be a Shinsuke. He's gonna ride it all out and just retire off that money.
Jeez.
All right, Ty. I turn into a pumpkin in 2 minutes. I came
Ty,
because I love you,
we
but I've
do.
been at work since 6:30. But I couldn't miss your last show. But
Yeah.
I'll die if I stay any longer. And y'all don't want that. You already saw me eating, so like let's
Well-
not have more embarrassing Megan moments.
So we're gonna.
I
Well, we
think-
got to do the heel. We're wrapping it up.
Oh,
but we gotta
I'm
do the heel.
doing that, except for
Yeah.
here's the thing. Because Ty is filled with so much hate. I'm gonna let him have all 3 heels of the
Do
week.
it. Do it, Ty.
Ty, all
Ooh.
3 are yours. They can be wrestling related or non-wrestling related.
Thanks, Bill.
Oh man, dang. All right. So first and foremost, Youngkin for lifting up these mask mandates. That's one. Because it's stupid.
So many
Whoa,
reasons
coming
to
in
hate
hot.
Lincoln.
Coming in hot.
So many reasons.
Coming in
And
hot, Ty.
if you do not like Glenn Youngkin, please follow Louise Lucas on Twitter because she dunks on him on a regular
It's
basis.
getting. It's getting. The Luis Locust Twitter account is getting feisty.
It's pretty feisty. All right, Ty, number 2.
Number 2 is going to be LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James, just because
Why do we
I
hate
mean,
LeBron this week?
it's this week. It's been this entire season. Really, he's been playing his butt off. I would give him that. But this constant, man, it ain't over till y'all stomp me out. Nah, man, you're done. You're done. The Lakers is done.
Lakers
All
are
right,
done.
you wanted Westbrook, you got Westbrook. Don't start whining about it because they didn't trade him. It's done.
Lakers are done.
Yeah.
All right. And your last heel of the week for a while. You know what? Fuck it. Oh, I said the F word.
Good
I'm
lord.
gonna have one
Family
heel of the
friendly.
week. I'm gonna have
Family
one, and then
friendly.
I'm gonna give it back to you.
All
My
right.
heel of the week is Ty Gimmick Incoming because he's leaving us, and I'm gonna be so
Dang.
sad not to have you every week because you are amazing, and I have loved arguing with you. And we're gonna have to bring in another ringer from Sanford. So
Yeah, man. That means I don't have to watch WWE like pay-per-views anymore. I'm sorry,
have
live
to.
premium live
Come on,
events.
son. You know
Ty,
you
I
enjoy
hey,
it.
look. Ty was all over NXT. When was it? Was it this week or
Yeah.
Yeah,
last week?
yeah, I did watch
You
NXT.
were
NXT was
all, and
not.
you live tweeted all of NXT.
Yeah, it wasn't
Absolutely.
as
How
bad
did,
as I thought it was going to
right?
be.
I don't
It
know
was
how you
bad,
pulled that
but it
off.
wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to
All
be.
right. Close it
Um,
out for us, Ty.
And
Who's
well,
your
hold
third?
on. I'll give Ty. Let's give Ty the last word, but I also have to echo
all right,
Megan's sentiments and give some praise to the hater, which is Ty, because he, you know, his wrestling knowledge is far superior to the average folks, and so sometimes I'm sure he's pulling his hair out, trying to dumb down the elements of what is professional wrestling for the jabronis like me and several others. But no, man, you're not going anywhere. Obviously, you are. This new job's gonna just jack up your schedule a bit, and then after a
yeah,
while, you'll be back on with us talking wrestling again. So it's definitely not something where, you're welcome at any show that you have time to come on, and we're just gonna have a lot of fun as we continue to. And you'll probably still be on our live Twitter account. Lord
I
knows,
probably
doing
will.
all kinds of activity. So, uh,
We are
so
gonna miss you.
we're gonna miss you a lot, Ty. So
All
you
right.
get the final word.
This is it. It's all yours.
All right,
Bring it on home.
so final words. I'm gonna miss all you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for help. Coming on, creating this, and giving me an outlet to talk about something that I just love. I'll be back. I'll be back. And oh, can I do the outro?
Yeah.
You got to do your third heel of the week
Oh,
first.
the third
End
heel of the
with
week
your
is
hate. And here's the thing.
the,
I kind of think that like Ty the hater was your gimmick all along,
All
and we
along.
just figured it out now on your
I
last
told
It
show.
was
you
all
I was
along.
I was Brian Danielson. What are you talking? I
The
was the
American
entire time.
the
Kick
American
people's heads
Dragon.
in. All right, give us your third heel of the
The
week, and then
third
yes,
heel of the
you can
week.
count us out.
The third heel of the week came in from last week. It was the male half of Twitter for Miss Lioness or Nikki Lyons.
Nikki Lyons, yeah.
Yeah, Nikki Lyons,
Nikita.
Nikita
Nikita
Lyons,
Lyons, yeah.
going on her match and just drooling all over just because she's a white woman with a big butt.
It's a
Yay!
rarity.
Is it?
No, it's not.
No,
It is
it's not.
totally
That is
not.
something I tell myself to feel better at night.
Okay, I was
Oh,
like, what are you
okay.
talking about?
She's super green. She'll get better. She'll get better after time. But y'all are just gross, man. We're just gross.
Dudes are gross. Solid point. All right, Ty,
All right.
you get to do it. You know it
So as
ain't
always, what
over.
we do? Yes.
One thing,
Yeah.
if you like this
Oh
show,
yeah.
we have another show on the Family Podcast Network from our friends No Words Barred podcast. They've been on this show,
Woo.
but they
Yes.
talk all kinds of sports, all type of wrestling, all types of culture. So be sure to follow the Family Podcast Network and check out an amazing show, No Words Barred.
And I
All
got a
right,
shout out
Ty.
also to Craft Beer
Oh,
Mafia. Cian's
mhm.
been on the show as well, part of the family. Hey, little one. I have no idea what your name is, but what's up?
That's Langston.
Langston.
Biggie Langston.
All right. As always, we're gonna count it out.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2. Sweet.
I love it.